Biden may be called to testify on cover-up of his own cognitive decline. That's what Comer said. Wow. Could you imagine him having to sit down and testify? He can't. You think he can hold his sentence together? Biden is bad. It's bad. Y'all know I've been talking about Biden decline, cognitive decline for years now. The mainstream media finally caught up with it, and I really feel bad for him. Y'all know I've been saying it's been elder abuse. Jill need to be reported for elder abuse. It's what they did to Biden. Even though I'm no fan of Biden, I still don't like to see that happen to anyone. What happened to him? So we're gonna play the clip. We're gonna talk about it. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button. Share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my X account, so follow me there as well. All right, so let's get into this news. Now, this comes from Modernity News, and they report that Joe Biden's wife and son, and even Sleepy Joe himself, may be forced to testify before the House Oversight Committee regarding the attempts to cover up his clear mental unraveling, according to the committee chairman, James Comer. Ooh, I hope it happens. I do. I really do. In a Fox News interview, Comer revealed that the former First Lady, Jill Biden, and the president's son, Hunter, as well as former White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, could be called in and subpoenaed if they refuse to agree to testify. Let's get to the clip here. Here we go.
Here with the latest, House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer is with us. Chairman Comer, let's start with the 4 people that you, in fact, are going to have transcribed interviews with, and the president's doctor, Kevin O'Connor. I would imagine there are a lot of other people you want to talk to, too, but let's start with these 5.
Yeah, well, obviously the physician, he's the one that continuously told America that Joe Biden was in tip-top physical condition. He was mentally sharp. He was physically sharp. We now know that to be 100% false. The 4 staffers aren't well-known staffers. These 4 staffers operated behind the scenes. But while we're starting with them, Sean, we believe these are the staffers that were responsible for using the auto pen. Someone got documents and manually placed them in the machine and pressed the power button to sign Joe Biden's signature. That was not Joe Biden. That was done by staff.
And I remember they asked Joe Biden about this bill he signed. I wish I could remember exactly what it was. He didn't remember signing it. He didn't remember signing it.
Staffers, that would be done by any staffer. So we believe and have good reason to believe these are the 4 staffers that were responsible for that. We want to ask them, who gave you the authority to use Joe Biden's signature? And we'll go from there. Obviously, we believe that some of the names, like the chief of staff and perhaps the first lady, were involved in a lot of the decision making. If that's where the trail leads, then we'll bring them in as well. But we're going to get answers to all the questions that every American deserves answers to.
Sad. Look at him.
You mentioned Jill Biden. You mentioned, I would assume, Hunter Biden would be called in. Now, Hunter, had a preemptive pardon. So did his brother, Jim Biden. I would assume that they're not allowed to claim plead the 5th. Will every person that you bring in be put under oath? And do you think you're going to need to bring in these family members? And what about Ron Klain? And what about the other people close to him?
Yeah, Ron Klain.
Ron Klain's a very good bet. But again, we're going to see where the trail leads, just like we did in the Biden influence peddling investigation. We followed the money. We found the shell companies. We found the bank accounts. We're going to do the same thing with this auto pen.
Yeah, but to be honest with you, yes, they found where the money. They found out that Biden was laundering money. His entire family, his son, his brother, were laundering money. We found that. We got the paper trail, but nothing happened. No one got in trouble. No one got anything. There was no accountability there. So I don't think anything is gonna happen when we find out who's really behind this auto pen thing and who was propping up Biden and all of that. I really don't think the Republicans are going to do anything about it, to be honest with you.
Who was giving the authority for use of the auto pen. Remember, Sean, there was more activity in the last 100 days of the Biden administration than the first 3.5 years of the Biden administration.
That's
Many
true.
of the far-reaching executive orders were signed during the last 100 days, and they were all signed by the auto pen. We
That's
don't
true.
believe that you can sign a legal document with an auto pen. If I issue a subpoena, I have to fly to Washington, D.C. to manually sign my signature on that subpoena. Anything pertaining to the law has to be signed by a person. We know the auto pen was used. No one in the Biden administration is denying that the auto pen was used. No one now is denying that Joe Biden wasn't, mentally fit to make some of these decisions. So what
True.
I can tell you tonight is the four staffers that we've asked to come in for transcribed interviews, they have all lawyered up. They are taking this very seriously, and this is going to be a
If you don't have anything to hide, why are you getting lawyers? What are you afraid of?
battle to get to the truth.
In light of the Her report and the tapes that were released and how what a cognitive mess Joe was, would it even be worthwhile to bring him in? I mean, I would have to argue probably not.
Well, I mean, again, we're going to see who was giving the directive to sign these. If everyone says it was Joe Biden, then I'm certainly open to bring him in. It's harder to bring in a former president. The Democrats tried to bring Donald Trump into some things, but at any rate, wherever the trail leads is where we're going to bring them in. And look, I would love to ask Joe Biden a lot of questions, but right now we're starting with the staffers who are operating the auto pen. We're going to bring the physician, Dr. O'Connor, in because he definitely was not telling the truth about Joe Biden's health. We're going to have Ronnie Jackson there to counsel us on a lot of questions. We're very fortunate to have a member of Congress that was the previous White House physician. So I think we're going to be ready to go. And again, even the liberal media, Sean, wants to know the answers to these questions. No one's attacking me for wanting to conduct this investigation. Everyone wants to know the truth, and hopefully we'll be able to find the truth.
Maybe you can ask the doctor why he didn't give Joe Biden a simple PSA test since 2014, according to reports.
Oh,
Chairman,
we know why.
Comer, thank you.
We know the answer to that. They didn't want to find out. That's why they didn't want it out that he has cancer. So of course, why would they test for it? They already knew he had cancer. Hannity asked Comer if it would even be worthwhile to bring Biden in light of the cognitive mess he is, to which Rep responded he was open to bringing Biden in. Whether or not he get a single sentence that makes any sense out of Biden is another question. That's true. Congress is seeking to investigate the auto pen scandal and find out exactly what top aides knew about Biden's mental deficiency. It's pretty obvious that they knew Biden wasn't all there, and they just went through with their leftist agenda and used the auto pen. I mean, it's clear that's exactly what happened. And I don't think any of these people is going to be held accountable. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Leave y'all comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.